Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Naitiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, the Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavan. Text number 11 onwards. So Uddhavji is further speaking to Vidurji. Shambaram dvividam banam muram balvalam evacha anyascha danta vakradin vadhit kanchcha ghatyata. Of kings like Shambar, Dvivid, Bana, Mura, Balval, and many other demons such as Dantavakra, some he killed himself and some he caused to be killed by others, Sri Baladev, etc. So many demons that Krishna annihilated, and like it says, some of them he killed himself and some of them killed by Balramji or Bhim or others. Athate bhratri putrana bhaksheho patitan ripan chachalabhu kurukshetram yesham apatatam balahe. Then, O Vidura, the Lord caused all the kings, both the enemies and those on the side of your fighting nephews, to be killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. All those kings were so great and strong that the earth seemed to shake as it traversed the war field. So many kings and so many powerful kings, they got killed in this Mahabharat battle. So this was Krishna's arrangement. So he had to assemble all these demonic kings so they would be killed at once. And he arranged Arjun and Bhim to kill most of them. Text 13. Sakarna Dushasan so balanam Kumantra paken hatashriya suyodhanam sanucharam shayanam bhagnorumurvyam nanand pashyam. Duryodhan was bereft of his fortune and duration of life because of the intricacy of ill advice given by Karna, Dushasan and Sobal. Sobal was Shakuni. When he lay on the ground with his followers, his thighs broken, although he was powerful, the Lord was not happy to see the scene. The fall of Duryodhan, the leading son of Dhritarashtra, was not pleasing to the Lord, although he was on the side of Arjuna, and it was he who advised Bhima how to break the thighs of Duryodhan while the fight was going on. The Lord is constrained to award punishment upon the wrongdoer. But he is not happy to award such punishments because the living entities are originally his parts and parcel. He is harder than the thunderbolt for the wrongdoer and softer than the rose for the faithful. The wrongdoer is misled by bad associates and by ill advice, which is against the established principles of the Lord's order. And thus he becomes subject to punishment. The surest path to happiness is to live by the principles laid down by the Lord and not disobey his established laws, which are enacted in the Vedas and Puranas for the forgetful living entities. So the Lord, although Duryodhan, he committed so many crimes, so many sins against the Pandavas, so many times he tried to get them killed or get them cheated or insulted. So many things he did. Still, in the shloka it is said that Lord was not happy to see him lying on the ground with his thighs broken, although he himself ordered Bhima, advised Bhima how to break the thighs of Duryodhana or how to defeat Duryodhana. And it is Prabhupada writing that we all are part and parcels of Krishna. So he's not happy to award such punishments on his own creations. But what can he do? He has to establish the Vedic rule So the path laid down in the Vedas, this is what he has to establish. And that's also one of the reasons he appears. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyathanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajami. So in the last purpose, the surest path to happiness is to live by the principles laid down by the Lord and not disobey his established laws. Many times it is seen that seemingly the persons who are breaking the laws, they are more happy or they are enjoying the life very nicely. Look at the people who are drinking and eating meat and how much money they have, and they're gambling and roaming around with so many women, and so they are happy. What is it that they're lacking? So they might be happy for right now because they have earned all these facilities by doing many pious activities in the past. But by breaking the laws now, they will definitely be suffering. So we have to be able to see it through the eyes of scriptures, not through our own eyes. Because we are faulty, we have defective senses, defective eyes. So what can we see? On the other hand, we see the devotees are suffering in the sense of they are performing so many austerities. They get up early in the morning. They don't, like somebody asked a person, "Oh, do you drink?" The other person said, "No." "Do you eat meat?" "No." "Do you do you smoke?" "No." "Do you go out to the clubs?" "No." Then what's the point in living? They say. Because for them, living means to do all these nonsense activities. That is called living. And much more than whatever we can think of. But that's not living, actually. That is miserable. If we see anybody who goes through, suppose, so much of drinking, and they say, "Oh, I enjoy it in the bar and drinking," but next morning he's miserable. Even after drinking, I mean, what pleasure or what benefit one gets by drinking? Nothing. Just his brain gets clouded. His intelligence is completely uh, gone crazy. So what is the point in drinking? And moreover, his liver is damaged. But people think, and this is all over the world. I mean, drinking is like the best form of enjoyment. I don't know what makes it so, but it goes crazy. People go crazy about drinking. And after drinking, and then it has to combine with meat eating, so they go hand in hand. And then other nonsense activities. And they think this is life. Of course, they don't know anything better. That's a problem. So yes, they are supposed to know the laws of God, but if they don't know any better, of course they will be punished. But it's a shortcoming, or it's our fault to know the rules that we are not preaching. So because that is what the reason people don't know. It's not like we can expect them to all to go to library or go to ISKCON temple and get Gita and start studying. They have no inclination. They have no knowledge at all. We have to go and preach to them. We have to go and tell them what is right and what is wrong. So that's why the preaching makes the person who's preaching or the preacher very dear to Krishna. Because like here, Prabhupada says Krishna is not happy when like Duryodhana was punished or other kings got punished. Krishna wasn't happy. He'll be very happy if all of them had had been rectified and they had They became devotees of the Lord, and they were working in a way that they make sure that they go back home, back to Godhead. Krishna would have been happy to see that kind of progress. And that is only possible if we preach properly, if we take up this service. And if nothing more, I'm not saying we should go, everybody should go out and preach to hundreds and thousands of people. If it is possible for some, why not? But if it is not, at least, I mean, even in our temples, I used to say at every New Year Eve, like next whole year, you have one full year, everybody, to preach to just one family and make sure that they come to the temple regularly. They start chanting and they come to the temple regularly. So you give them company, give them association, bring them to the temple, take care of them. That's all. One full year for just one family. And this is what I used to tell them, that just imagine, even if not 100%, say only 60% of people, devotees, followed that. So next year our congregation would become 1.6 times of whatever we have now. And that's a big achievement. So if all of us would just take this vow that, okay, now Janmashtami is coming up. So from this Janmashtami to next Janmashtami, all I'm going to do is concentrate on one family or one person. Forget about family. Just one person. And try to make sure that he or she gets all the association needs, all the books, all the prashadam that I can give, and make him or her chant and make him or her regular. In this class, great. Otherwise, your class in your office, great. Other class in the temple, wherever, doesn't matter to me. Just imagine how much the world will change if we all take up this service. And it is doable. 1 year just for one person, it is very much doable. But somehow we try to preach to so many that we forget in the end what was the goal. And then we get frustrated, oh, I cannot preach. We can easily preach to at least one person. Text 14. Kiyan bhuvayam chapitorubharo yau ono bhishmarjun bhimam ulay ashtadashakshohini ko madan shayat aste balam durvishaham yadunam. After the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, the Lord said, the abatement of the earth's great burden, 18 Akshahinis, has now been effected with the help of Drona, Bhishma, Arjuna, and Bhima. But what is this? There is still the great strength of the Yadu dynasty, born of myself, which may be more unbearable burden. So he was worried about the Yadu dynasty now, that they could be unbearable burden. Because Yadu dynasty was a dynasty which was unbeatable by anybody. So here, Krishna was afraid that they will become very proud and they'll create troubles all over the world. So Prabhupada says, it's a wrong theory that due to an increase in population, the world becomes overburdened. And therefore there are wars and other annihilating processes. The earth is never overburdened. The heaviest mountains and oceans on the face of the earth hold more living entities than there are human beings, and they are not overburdened. If a census were taken of all the living beings on the surface of the earth, certainly it would be found that the number of humans is not even 5% of the total number of living beings. If the birth rate of human beings is increasing, then the birth rate of other living beings is increasing proportionately. The birth rate of lower animal, beasts, aquatics, birds, etc. is far greater than that of human beings. There is an adequate arrangement for food for all the living beings all over the earth by the order of the Supreme Lord. And He can arrange more and more if there is actually a disproportionate increase of living beings. Wonderful analysis that Prabhupada is giving. He's saying it's not the population increase is cause of overburdenage of earth, overburden on earth. That's not the cause. And if Krishna sees there are so many living beings, they are inadequate number, not enough arrangement, He can provide foodstuff for all. Because ultimately He is a seed-giving Father. So this is not a problem. Overpopulation is not a problem. Therefore, there is no question of increase in population causing a burden. The earth became overburdened due to dharma glani, or irregular discharge of the Lord's desire. So the overburden is because of we are not following the religious principles. The Lord appeared on the earth to curb the increase in miscreants, and not the increase in population, as is wrongly put forward by the mundane economist. So the Lord appeared, Krishna appears on earth. He clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya cha dushkritam. He doesn't say vinashaya cha just population, extra population. He doesn't say that. Only dushkrita. Because his nature, his energy, planet Earth, at one place, Prabhupada said, planet Earth can feed 10 times the current population. It's not a problem for her. But she doesn't feed because we are not following the rules properly. When Lord Krishna appeared, there had been a sufficient increase in miscreants who had violated the desire of the Lord. The material creation is meant for fulfilling the desire of the Lord, and His desire is that the conditioned souls who are unfit to enter into the kingdom of God have a chance to improve their conditions for entering. The entire process of cosmic arrangement is intended just to give a chance to the conditioned souls to enter the kingdom of God. And there is an adequate arrangement for their maintenance by the nature of the Lord. There is adequate arrangement. There's nothing to worry about. Of course, it doesn't mean the crops are going to grow on their own. We still have to work on it. But earth can provide. It's just like if government makes a prison house outside the city, and in the prison house there's so many prisoners. Government has to supply for the food stuff. Has to supply for the food for them. Because it's the government's duty. Government is the one who has put them in the prison. And in the prison, they're not going to grow their own food. Government is supposed to feed them. So similarly, Krishna has created this material world, which is a prison house, a place for rectification of the conditioned souls who are here, who have fallen here. So Krishna's one duty is to provide food for all of them. Of course, to get that food, we have to work hard. It's not like we sleep in a bed and the food will come. Krishna can make arrangements like that also. That's not a problem. But He wants to make sure that we work hard for our food. And in fact, other way around also, if we are supposed to eat, and if we say, I'm not going to eat, Krishna will make sure that we eat. So there's a story, I think I posted on the group also. There was one atheist, and he didn't believe in God. And he definitely didn't believe in that. He said, if I don't want to eat, how is God going to make me eat? Devotee said, don't argue on this, don't bet on this, just believe, just have faith. And he didn't have faith in God, so he said, no, I'm not going to believe it till I see it. Devotee said, okay, fine. So one fine day, that person said, okay, today I'm going to fast and I want to see how Krishna makes me eat. And if he does make me eat, I'll believe in Krishna. I'll become his devotee. Devotee said, okay, Krishna will make sure, don't worry. So the man, he was in the ashram and then he thought, oh, if I stay here today, somehow these devotees, they will entice me, will trick me into eating. So let me go out of here. Let me go to the forest. So he went to the forest. He said, in the forest, how nobody can approach me, no devotees can approach me. How they're going to make me eat? Let me see. So he went to the forest, and in the forest, he said, if I just roam around, I might get tired. I might fall down because I haven't eaten. Let me go on this tree. And now on the tree, definitely nobody can catch me and nobody can make me eat. Okay. So while he was on the tree, he saw a man running, and he came under the tree, and and he had a bag. So he was hiding under the tree, and then he saw some more people running, and they were looked like they were the dacoits and robbers, and they were looking for this man. And this man had the bag, and the man under the tree, he left the bag and he ran away when he saw the robbers. So the robbers came looking, and they saw the bag. They thought it was the money, but when they opened the bag, it had food. The robbers were thinking, now why would that man who ran away leave the food here? And they thought, and they were looking around. They said, no, that man must be having a accomplice, and surely he's keeping an eye on us. So looking around, they didn't see anybody, and looking above, they saw this man, a thief, who was sitting in the branches. They said, you get down here right now, otherwise we'll kill you. So the man now was in big trouble. He got down, and the robbers, they caught him, and they said, your friend left this food here, and he has definitely put some poison in this food so that we eat this food and we die, and he run away with all the jewels that we stole. And this man who was got down from the tree, the atheist, he said, I don't know anything about all whatever you're saying. Just leave me alone. I'm not an accomplice. They said, no, 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 you're accomplice. Now we have to make sure there is no poison in the food. So first you have to eat the food. And that's when it will be assured that there is no poison. And the man, atheist, was saying, no, 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 I cannot eat this food. Robert said, we will see how you don't eat this food. They beat him up and they fed him the food. And then the atheist was thinking, this is only Lord's Leela. He had to make me eat food, whether through the hands of dacoits or some other way. So this is the thing is, so overburden is not a problem for the Lord to feed. Lord can feed any number of people. It just the people who don't follow the scriptures, that's a problem, bigger problem. Therefore, although there may be a great increase in population on the surface of the earth, if the people are exactly in line with God consciousness and are not miscreants, such a burden on the earth is a source of pleasure for her. There are two kinds of burden. There is the burden of the beast and the burden of love. The burden of beast is unbearable, but the burden of love is a source of pleasure. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the burden of the love very practically. He says that the burden of the husband on the young wife, the burden of the child on the lap of the mother, and the burden of wealth on the businessman, although actually burden from the viewpoint of heaviness, are sources of pleasure. And in the absence of such burdensome objects, one may feel the burden of separation, which is heavier to bear than the actual burden of love. When Lord Krishna referred to the burden of the Yadu dynasty on the earth, he referred to something different than the burden of the beast. The large numbers of the family members born of Lord Krishna counted to some millions and were certainly a great increase in the population of the earth. But because all of them were expansions of the Lord Himself, by His transcendental plenary expansions, they were a source of great pleasure for the earth. When the Lord referred to them in connection with the burden on the earth, He had in mind the imminent disappearance from the earth. All the members of the family of Lord Krishna were incarnations of different demigods, and they were to disappear from the surface of the earth along with the Lord. When He referred to the unbearable heaviness on the earth in connection with the Yadu dynasty, He was referring to the burden of this separation. Srila Jiva Goswami confirms this inference. So their burden on earth was actually the burden of love, because they were all expansions of Krishna, plenary expansions. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami, they clarified what burden exactly Uddhavji was talking about. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it's a very beautiful class, wonderful explanation about the population which Prabhupada has given. And the second thing is when you were saying that we should start preaching one family or a one person, what should we do when this, it won't even start. People don't even try, they are not ready to listen. So how to start? My question is this. Please guide.
See, everybody is different. The approach is different for different people. If they are not ready to listen, feed them prasadam. Give them a book. Just or chanting. Just ask them to chant one round a day, whatever. Whichever way. It's all preaching. Or whenever you go to temple, like Janmashtami is coming up, you can take them. Or Radhashtami or Balram Purnima. There's so many festivals. Somehow or other, connect them. Somehow. You can organize a program at your house. Radha Prabhu is there. So many other devotees, Shashwati Mata, Vanda Mata, they all are there. They'll come. You can have a program. You can invite them. But the point is, we have to introduce people to Krishna consciousness.
Actually, Prabhuji, what my experience is with the different people, they don't want to change their whatever they are doing it. Like सुबह का जो भी उनका है, like जिस भी वो अपने ईश को मानते हैं, उससे उनको डाइवर्ट करना बहुत इट्स लाइक वेरी डिफिकल्ट एक्चुअली. मतलब some people are वैष्णो देवी को मानते हैं, ठीक है, मानते हैं, तो फिर diversion from there to Krishna, like.
So don't try to divert. Don't divert. Tell them whatever you're doing is fine. Just add Hare Krishna Mahamant. Just chant one round. That's all. Tell them Mata Jatu, great. Somvar Kavrat Rakta, wonderful. Nothing wrong. We want them to add Krishna, not to take out anything. And when Krishna is there, he will take care of everything. Then it's his problem.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Regarding this,
Hare
I have
Krishna.
shared it, like I shared it with Gurudev also, I will share it with you also. Because for me, it is very magical. because people who used to eat non-veg and all every time, and they were like core non-vegetarian. So there was one person working at my mom's place. So he used to eat non-veg. So my mom is always chant. So I told my mom, that tell him also to chant. Now why he's all there. So if he will chant, then everything will be fine. He should chant. Then my mom gave him. I told him also, please, you should chant. Then my mom gave him that beads and all. He started chanting. He sometimes chant 20-25 rounds also, and he wake up in the morning as usual 4. So now he has stopped eating non-veg. And
Yeah.
my mom says that there are 2 more people who are working there in their farms. They are also saying मुझे भी बीड ला के दो ना, क्योंकि वो पढ़े लिखे नहीं है प्रभु जी, तो उनको हम बुक्स तो नहीं दे सकते, बट चैंटिंग के लिए
That's
मैंने
okay.
बोला
Yeah, that's
आप
okay.
चैंटिंग करो,
That's
बस
good.
चैंटिंग करो. एंड वो चीजें इतनी बदल गई. मतलब परसों ही मेरी मॉम ने मुझे बताया कि वो लोगों ने फिर मुझसे बात की कि मेरे लिए भी भेज देना ना चैंटिंग का. मैंने बोला हाँ हाँ मैं भेज दूंगी आप लोग के लिए भी. तो बहुत ही अच्छा
Yeah,
लगता है देख के कि सच में कृष्णा सब संभाल लेते हैं.
of course. संभालते कृष्ण ही हैं. हम तो कुछ तो भी बोलते रहते हैं.
सही बात है. हरे कृष्ण
So
प्रभु.
Hare Krishna
इसलिए
Prabhuji.
I don't even say quit drinking or quit eating meat or whatever.
नहीं,
Do whatever you're doing. Just add chanting. That's all.
हाँ मैंने वही किया. अभी मेरा भाई मुझे बोलता है तुम ये कोई बीमारी लगा रही हो यहाँ पे, जिसको देख रहा हूँ सब माला लेके ही बैठा हुआ है घर में. मैंने बोला अभी तेरे पे ही, तेरे ही को तू टारगेट तो तू ही है, बट धीरे 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 तुझे घेरा जाएगा.
Thank you, man.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, like just now we were discussing about this, how to, uh, how we can associate more people into these spiritual practices, awaken them of what they're doing, either they are eating non-veg, bringing them back to their, piousness and all. On this one thing, which I think it's happening. It's population blast in India. Uh, Generally speaking, if you just see in Delhi, if you go to any open place, I mean, if you just visit any place, you'll see hell lot of crowd there. Okay, it was not when we were kids. I mean, it was not like that. We were visiting with our parents. It was not like that. That so crowded, but it's happening. Isn't that, uh, I mean, kind of one chapter in the spiritual practices where we teach this, that how to balance your the population, or because the less number of people, I believe in it, the less number of people we have in the country, it's more easier to bring them into the spiritual practices. Like one more thing to add, like you have added, uh, a term called Varna Shankar also, which is not related, but it's Varna Shankar. It's like somebody has 5 kids or 10 kids, and you won't be able to concentrate. It's just anybody will go on their own directions or do all nonsense activities. And also, it could be an identity crisis as well in some point of time.
See, if somebody is born as a human being, we have to understand from scriptures it is only happening by the superior control. Whatever species he's born in, it's only happening by superior control. There is some controlling power beyond us. So overpopulation or whatever, it's not in our control. And first of all, and then secondly, it's been sanctioned by Krishna himself. So it's okay. It's his liking. He wants it. That's okay. All we have to do is try to make everybody a devotee. Try to, not everybody, as many as we can. That's all. And Krishna will take care of everything. He is Jagatnath, Lord of the universe. Nothing is beyond his control. Even Pakistan is in his control. Don't worry. I mean, we talk about Hindu Muslims, Hindu Muslims. Muslims were there in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. And they were creating problems for Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's devotees. But Mahaprabhu didn't just go and annihilate all the Muslims. If he wanted to, he could have. So being a Muslim, it cannot be a problem. It's just being a non-devotee in any case, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Hindu, whatever. It's a non-devotee, that's a problem. Philosophically, we can talk, whatever, but that's the thing. No? Philosophically, we can say, oh, Islam is this, and Christianity is this, and Vedic tradition is this. Fine, great. But if Mahaprabhu wanted to get rid of all the Muslims, he could have done that time, 500 years ago. He didn't. So who are we to do something like that? We won't think of something like that.
True, Prabhuji.
So all we have to do is do our part. Krishna says, who gives this knowledge to others is most dear to me. So we have to give the knowledge, not start killing people. That's not what he says. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Everything going on is
Thank you, ma'am.
because of you in the spiritual. Now, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, all glories to Gurudev and Guru Mata.
All goes to Prabhupada. Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Yes.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.